Okay, today's soup is my Grandma Smith's tomato-based clam chowder. It's absolutely delicious. Perfect to have when you're a little bit tired of turkey. So the ingredients are some onion. I did not have any fresh onion, so I'm rehydrating some dehydrated onion. A quart of canned tomatoes, 2 cans of chopped clams. If you have access to fresh clams, that would be even better. Some potatoes and bacon and a little bit of cornmeal. This is my grandma. See if I can get it to focus. There she is. And that's me with my grandma in 1961. My grandma passed away 2 years ago on Christmas Day. She had had a stroke, but I still like to think of her, especially when I make my clam chowder. And also, she, back in the 70s, made this beautiful Christmas tree. And she used to put this up every year in her living room and put all our presents around it. She didn't like a lot of mess, so she only put up this little ceramic tree, which she made herself, painted it, and had it fired. And I'd always loved it. So years later, when I was married and had children, she gave it to me, and that is a treasure. So let's get started on Grandma Smith's tomato-based clam chowder. I have chopped up the 3 pieces of bacon into small pieces and the onion, and I'm going to brown this in the Dutch oven. Then I'm going to chop up my potatoes into bite-sized chunks. Give this a stir while the bacon is cooking in the onions. If you had a fresh onion, you just chop it finely. That would be fine. And I'm going to chop up these potatoes. And we grew up close to the ocean in the Sound, and when I was a little girl, we would go dig clams at the Sound with the clam rake, or my favorite was just to get down in the mud and dig around and pull up clams. And some of the clams were like this big. A lot of good memories down at the beach, fishing and shrimping and clamming and getting oysters. And my grandmother and my grandfather loved seafood. And my grandmama always made this soup, and it is so good. It just reminds me so much of those times we had down at the Sound. And if I had some fresh clams, I would use those, but I don't have any. And you know, nowadays you can't go out and dig like we did. There's so much overdevelopment along the coast, and fertilizer runoff and sewage runoff, that all the beds became contaminated back in the 70s. And then we had something called red tide that came in, and bacteria got in all the shellfish, and you couldn't get it anymore. It's just really sad, but it's nice to have those memories of going clamming. And my mom would get so excited, she'd keep picking them up, stuffing them down her bathing suit. It was a lot of fun. My dad and uncles would go fishing and get wash tubs full of flounder when they went gigging all night. A lot of great memories growing up down on the Sound. And we've taken our kids to the beach a lot and fishing, but we still can't get the clams like we used to. So that's why I picked the bumblebee chopped clams. They're gonna work. So I'm gonna finish chopping up all of these potatoes, and then I'll start putting the soup together after the bacon has browned and the onion is browned. And then we'll come back. Okay, the bacon is browned and the onions are cooked. So I added 2 cups of water I didn't drain the fat off or anything because I like that taste of the bacon fat. So I'm just scraping off the bits off the bottom. That's your flavor. I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to add in the tomatoes. And that was 2 cups of water I poured in. I'm adding 1 quart of my canned tomatoes. You can use regular canned tomatoes, stewed tomatoes. Just give that a stir. I may need to add another can. I can't ever make a small pot of soup. All my soup turns out in huge pots. I'm going to add another jar of canned tomatoes. There we go. Okay. We're going to bring that to a boil and then put in the potatoes and let them cook a little bit. Okay, the tomato soup mixture is boiling, so I'm going to pour in the potatoes. These were just red potatoes, chopped. Give that a stir, and I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of salt. And in the meantime, I've opened up my clams, and you want to save that juice. That's what makes the soup taste so good. So save the juice. You're going to pour all of that in there. I like for the potatoes to cook about 5 to 8 minutes so that they're getting soft before I put the clams in, because I don't like the clams to be tough. So we're going to set the timer for about 5 minutes, give it a couple of stirs, and add in some salt. And then we'll add in our clams. Okay, the potatoes have boiled for about 5 minutes. They're getting nice and soft. So now I'm going to pour in the 2 cans of chopped clams with the juice. And one more step is to take some cornmeal and mix it in a little bit of water. Stir it up good, and then you're going to put that in the soup. So 2 heaping teaspoons, or almost a tablespoon probably, and then stir it up. That just gives it a nice thick chowdery taste to it once the cornmeal cooks. But you have to put that in the water. If you don't, it will lump up like lumpy gravy. Just mix that up. I think I'm going to go ahead and pour all of this in here. And then just stir that into the soup. And I'll give you a close-up view. There's all the bacon, the clams, the tomatoes, and the potatoes. So this just sits and simmers, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour on very low until those potatoes are completely done. You don't want to cook it a long time because then your clams will get tough. Oh my goodness, this is so good. And Grandma always fried up cornbread. So I'll fry up some cornbread, and then when I plate it up, I'll show it to you. Okay, while that soup is cooking, I just wanted to share with you a little tip that I like to do at Christmas time, is to take a basket or a pretty box, put a bow on it, and then I fill it with pictures of the past. Like there's a picture of me, my first Christmas, with my Christmas tree and all my toys. I'll put all these pictures in this basket and set it in the living room so that over the holidays when family and friends come over, they can just kind of look through it and we can remember and talk about good times there is me as a young mom with my baby's first Christmas. So I like to just pick different pictures going all the way back to great-grandmamas and great-granddaddies and my parents, my husband's family, and just fill a basket with different pictures every year for the family to go through and talk about. It's just a great way to share Christmas memories with others. So that's just a neat little tip. You want to try that sometime. This is my baby's first Christmas. My second baby's first Christmas. He was the baby Jesus in the manger, and I dressed up Joey as a shepherd. So anyway, that's just a little tip, and then I set this whole basket in the living room over the holidays, and then the family, when they come in, they can sit and look through the pictures and ask questions about family history. So just a quick little tip, and then we'll have some soup in a little bit. And here it is, Grandma's clam chowder, all finished with some fried up cornbread. This is a delicious soup that brings back a lot of good memories. Hope you give this recipe a try. And if you do, let me know in the comments below. Again, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching Mimi's Home and Garden. Have a great day.